Hey everyone, welcome to the Happy Bookmaker. I hope you're having a great day. It's a pretty good day here. It's a little hot, but you know, it's mid-August, so what do we expect, right? So I am really excited because we are going to be doing a new book today. I wanted to do another kind of French themed book. Now, this isn't going to necessarily be a junk journal. I haven't actually decided yet. I think it's going to be more of a writing journal. So we are going to start again with another regular old book. This is a fun one. Kingfishers Catch Fire. I have no idea what that's all about. It is a book from 1953. So it's a beautiful old book, really good shape. Obviously, we're going to again take out the text block, and we're going to use the cover, and it's in great shape, so I don't have to worry about sturdiness of that sort of thing. We are going to have a theme. It is going to be French, but it's going to be French ladies. So it isn't going to be flowers, France and flowers again. It's going to be French ladies, all different kinds of French ladies, from royalty to just pretty ladies to postcards, ladies on postcards, but they will all be French. So it's going to be super fun. And I've got a really fun fabric picked out. Now, I have used this before. I've used it on the inside. Well, it's upside down. I've used it on the inside of France and Flowers Red Toile, but I've been wanting to use it as a book cover, and I figured for sort of a writing journal, it's kind of appropriate. And on the inside, instead of doing fabric, I'm going to do these pretty papers. And you'll see why in a minute. I'm kind of going with this pinky tone, but that is going to be on the inside covers, the front and the back covers. And the reason I'm kind of going with this, not that it's going to be seen from the front, but this is going to be our pretty image on the front cover. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover this book. I am going to decoupage her. I've already glued her with some Fabri-Tac glue onto a piece of cardstock. Then we're going to take some Mod Podge, and I'm going to get her down and really protected. We are going to obviously cut it out. We're going to lay her down, and I'm going to somehow trim around her. Now, my thinking is to pull out a little bit of this pink, this kind of mauve pink in her outfit here. I'm going to lay down some ribbon first, and then just so that you can kind of see like a little bit of that coming through. It isn't going to be real obvious, but I think it's going to make it I think it's just going to kick it up a little notch, you know. So that is going to be the cover, and then as I showed you the inside. Now on the spine, since I am doing paper on the inside, I'm going to be covering the spine with this piece of fabric, which is from France and Flowers 1 Red Waverly Blue. And it, you know, you see how it all ties in together. So it's really pretty. It's going to be a really pretty look. I might trim it up a little bit, but the paper is going to go over it mostly, so I'm not too concerned. But this paper, or this fabric, is just going to give that a little bit more stability. So I guess the first thing we want to do is let's first Mod Podge our lady so that she can dry. Okay, so what I want to do is take this nice big fat brush so I can cover a lot of territory, and then I'm just going to dip it right into the Mod Podge. So let me move this stuff out of the way real quick. Oh, here's what I wanted to show you and totally spaced it out. So the reason I want to do like a French lady, I was going to do like French ladies of fashion, but I decided that that was too limiting because I found so many wonderful images of French ladies that I don't want it to be limited to, you know, high fashion or that sort of thing. These were from a book. Now, I actually am not sure if they're French, but I think that they are. It's kind of a book on history, like art history. And I guess the way I'll be able to tell is the way July is spelt. You see that? Is that, I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up and see. But I would love to use these because they're beautiful. And then I just went through my graphics fairy images and book and paper arts. And and I came up with just tons of wonderful images. And what we're gonna do with these is we're just gonna have, like, every few pages or so, we're gonna have one of these wonderful images on a page, and we're gonna be using our newly dyed papers, which are beautiful papers, and it's just gonna be so fun. Yeah, it's gonna be girly, but you know, I'm a girl, so I'm a girly girl, so I'm okay with that. But these are our wonderful papers that I did this in the last video. Remember, that's a blueberry. I just love it. So what I like about this collection of papers is it's going to tie in really beautifully with all the colors that we have going on the cover and inside the book. So we've got some pink going on. We've got a little blue. We've got the brown. We've got some green. So, and we've got green in here. So it's all going to tie together, even though you're not going to see it all in one, you know, in one shot. It's going to be cohesive, and it's going to be a look that's really pulled together. So I'm so excited. Okay, and all the excitement, I buried her and I had to dig her out again. So let's get started with the Mod Podge. Mod Podge. Okay, this is satin, so she's not going to be shiny at all, but I think that's okay. It's also not matte, which I'm not a real fan of the matte, so I think that that's a good thing. I just feel like it really is matte, and it just kind of dulls it down, I think. Oh, I've got a little Mod Podge crumbs there. Just brush those off. Hopefully, I just printed this image yesterday. Hopefully it's, you know, got it's color fasted. Hopefully it's good enough, the color is set well enough that it doesn't bleed at all. I don't think so. I don't usually have a problem with my inkjet images. It might curl. I'm not really sure. It looks like it might be bubbling a little bit. We're gonna have to see. I can, if it doesn't work out, I've got this image, I can reprint it and try new things with it. But I do see some little bubbling there. I'm not sure what that's all about. I'm just gonna let that dry. I'm gonna probably do a couple of coats, and then, like I said, maybe one on the back in between, just in case it wants to start to curl a little bit. So let's clean up this mess, and we'll get to taking apart our old book. Okay, let's take apart this lovely book. I think it'll be pretty easy. The last ones that I did, if you recall, were these pretty little writing journals, and I did the elastic bands on them. I love these little books. They are so sweet. So it'll be very similar to this, but in this one I'm not going to do an elastic band because I just couldn't find a color that I really liked. I could use brown, I could use like that sort of tan color, but I just wanted it to be a little bit more feminine. I guess what I'm trying to say is I want to use this really pretty ribbon, and so what we're going to do is we're going to get that stuck under the cover, you know, under the paper, and then we will have a really nice tie, if that makes sense. All right, so let's just, if you remember last time, I may end up fast forwarding this, but I went through this pretty detailed on the videos where I did these guys. So we'll just see how it works out as I'm editing. So here we go. So I'm gonna just start, if you can kind of see where you see that there's a gap here, and I'm going to separate the text block from the back, being very careful, maybe I have this out too far, not to cut through. I want to cut through the cover. Oh, that's going very easily. I have to tell you, the other two are really easy too. Like, I was almost like, am I doing this right? This seems easier than it should be. I'm gonna have to lay it down for the rest. Pull this out. There, wow, see, look at that. Look at that. Easy peasy, look at that. Okay, so we just have to do the other side. That was even easier than the other two. Okay. And that's it. Beautiful. And more book pages to play with. As if I need more. I'm going to find something cool to do with these. Even just like the whole book block or the text block, right? Seems like you should be able to do something with that. Okay. So let me kind of wipe this off, clean it off a little bit. Okay, just for a little bit of added stability, I'm going to put down a strip of masking tape. I've got this really nice wide masking tape, and I just started doing this because, you know, it is a regular book cover and it's quite sturdy, but I just felt like, you know, it can't hurt, right? It just can't hurt. So I'm going to get this, I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac. I think that I am, sorry, I've got a little bit of allergies today and my voice is a little, it kind of keeps going high and then back down low. So hopefully I'm not getting one of those summer colds, but I forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, so let me get some glue in here. Let's see how wide this is. Okay, let's get this down. And just kind of get it kind of as centered as possible. And with the added glue on here, I feel really good about how nice and sturdy this is going to be. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do a three-hole signature spines, kind of like my old-fashioned way, because I've done a couple of them the other way now, and that's fine. But, you know, I like to switch it up. So I think the next thing to decide is, well, let's get this really down in here. Oops. So even if I do that, I will have, oh gosh, you're all crooked. I will have one of these chipboard spines, just to give it even a little more stability. So what I need to do now is kind of figure out the size that we need. And I'm just, right now I'm gonna kind of eyeball it. We wanna avoid this little gullet or valley. I know that, I don't think that's the right word, or the technical word, it's the word I'm using. So right now that seems to be about here. So we're gonna cut it with the X-Acto, or the craft knife, and then we'll trim as necessary. And boy, this is a lot shorter than it is supposed to be. Hold on a second. Okay, I remember now why this is. I was going to use a different book, and it ended up that one of the corners was like bending, and I decided not to use it because it would be covered, but it would still be kind of wobbly, right? So it was a little bit shorter, so that was it. So we need to cut a new one of these. Now this is an insert from my Chewy order for my kitties, and I like reusing these things. So we're gonna go ahead and mark this, and I'm gonna cut it to the proper length. So we're gonna guesstimate again about this wide. That's pretty wide. And as far as length, I'm gonna come just under the, you know, I'm going to kind of line it up with where this paper is going, if that makes sense. Because I don't really want it to go all the way down to the bottom. So somewhere like that. And I'm gonna go over to my paper trimmer over here, which you're not really supposed to cut this stuff on it, but I do it all the time. So hold on. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That looks really good. So is it gonna close properly? I think so. Yeah, I think that that's good. Wow, one try. Well, other than cutting the whole wrong size before. Other than that, it's great, right? So there will be this piece of fabric over it, and this will go in. Now I better check that because the fabric will add a little bit of thickness. Like that, like that. You know what? I am gonna trim it just a little hair because I see that it's like wanting to push it over. Just one little hair. Okay. Let's try that again. Like that, like that. Yeah. I feel like the next thing is just to do our cover, our fabric cover. Okay. So I'm gonna use tacky glue. I'm gonna put a light coat on the outside because this time I wanna do, I do wanna like lightly glue it down. I just want it to not be too loose on here. And I think it'll be okay if I just don't go too heavy on the tacky glue. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I usually will put the tacky glue on a paper plate. I forgot to buy paper plates. So what is a paper plate? It's basically cardstock with a coating. So this is a piece of cardstock, and I was like, no. And then I thought maybe I'd have like a lid, like a plastic lid or something, and did not have that, so that's okay, we can improvise. Hey, I gotta show you something. For our little lady, if you can see, there's an awful lot of bubbles here. So I had a little bit bigger image, and I went ahead and put her down with the Mod Podge instead of glue, and I'm gonna wait for that to dry completely, and then I'm gonna go over it with the Mod Podge. It's possible that I just did it in the wrong order, or I shouldn't have used that glue. So we're gonna let her dry, and I might let it dry like the rest of the day just to make sure it's really dry, and then go over it with that and then see if we get a different result. And it is bigger, but I am using a little bit bigger book than when I first cut her out, so I think it'll be okay. But I just wanted to show you that. That's what happened with that. It's kind of disappointing. Anyway, we'll make it work. It'll be fine. Okay, so now let's get, we've got our tacky glue. So we're gonna lay it down like this. I'm going to just put the glue all over the back of the book and, you know, flip it over. I don't want it to be, you know, I really do want it to be really thin because I'm just trying to kind of gently tack down, oops, this fabric. I don't want it to be like, you know, it doesn't have to be like super glued down, if that makes sense. So let's get started. Okay, so I had to go and add a little water to my bottle of tacky glue because it had thickened up quite a bit, and I want it to really spread nice and easily. So I'm back at it. Okay, I've been brushing this on, and I just wanted to come back for the very end here just to show you that I'm getting into all of these little crevices, getting it on the edges, and then of course when I fold it over, you know, then we'll do the other side. It's quite sticky. So let's turn it over, and I got a piece of string stuck on my fingers here, and see what happens. It's not real runny, so I think that it won't, or shouldn't anyway, soak through. Okay. And if I'm wrong, I'll be cutting another piece of fabric and starting over. How's that? Okay. I'm gonna quick wash my hands so that when I touch the front, I don't get it all over. Okay, I washed my hands so I don't get the front all icky. Oh, that looks beautiful, beautiful. Now let's get it, let's make sure that it gets in these crevices here. And you're all crooked again, I'm sorry. I'll try not to make you be crooked. Okay. that looks really good. Really, really good. See how nice that is? Nice and smooth. It's down, but none of the glue came through to the other side. That was my biggest worry because, you know, it's not a terribly heavy fabric, and that could happen. So, all right, yay, I'm thrilled with that. Okay, so I'm just gonna, again, try to get it more in here. Let's turn it over and start bringing our fabric in. And I'm gonna just continue on with the tacky glue for this, which is also PVA. The first time I used this was with the Merry Little Junk Journal, and I was really pleased with the way it worked. It was different for me, and I had this bottle and it was so thick and gloppy, but watered it down and kind of fell in love with it. Okay, I'm gonna continue on. So I guess I didn't say, but what I'm doing is putting down the corners first, and then I'm gonna pull in the other fabric. That is a tip I got from Pam at the Paper Outpost, and I think, I wonder if I didn't see that on Nick the Booksmith too, I can't remember. I've watched a lot of videos. So that way, that's nice and tucked in, and makes a very neat corner. Okay, so now I'm gonna start bringing up from the bottom, and I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead with my brush, kind of brush it on so it's not so gloppy. It was a tad gloppy on the corners because I didn't do that, but it should hold really, really well. So that's the idea, right? We want it to really hold. So on the inside here, get a little bit more under there. Okay, I'm just gonna fold this up. Oh, I'll put a little bit more glue right here. Okay, I'm just gonna fold this up and pull it as tight as I can. We know that it's down in the front, so we don't have to be too concerned. You know, that it's not getting, that it's gonna be like loose and floppy. It's not gonna be that way. Get it down into here because our nice little spine has to fit in there, plus a piece of fabric. So we want this in here. Okay, that looks good. Let's blot that off a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other side and I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay, now I'm gonna turn it around and do the other ends. Sorry, you're gonna get cut off here on one end or another, but I'll do one. I mean, it's the same. I'm doing the exact same thing as the two long sides, and we're almost there. So again, I'm bringing this up. I wonder what that's from. I don't know. Bringing this up. So I'm bringing this up, making it nice and flat. Now remember, our paper is going to be over this, so we're not going to see any of this, you know, sort of unfinished look. But look how nice those corners look. Doesn't that look nice? I think it's the cleanest way that I have found to do it. So, all right, there we go. right side up, and that's it. Okay. Okay, so the next thing, I get a little lotion on my hands, is we're gonna put down our little spine fabric. I love this fabric. That's why I continue to use it over and over and over. And I'm wondering, I mean, it is gonna be covered, but I think I would like the ends to be a little bit more clean looking. So I'm gonna find that little tool that I just found recently, that little fabric cutting tool, and I'm gonna straighten it out. Okay, I did press this. I'm gonna cut off, we don't need to have that many. It doesn't need to be that rough on the outside edges here. So we're gonna get rid of a lot of that. Then I'm gonna use that little tool to make it nice and straight, because that part will not be covered. It's probably not even necessary. Oops. Okay, so I'm gonna take my straight edge, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. I just want to straighten that out. Yeah, I think I'm losing my voice. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is just the coolest thing. Like, I don't even know what it's called, but I like it. So it's got to be really sharp to do that, right? I don't think you want to get your fingers in there. This side isn't, you know what? This side is actually okay. Well, there's a little bit of frizz. Okay, actually, let's look at if we need to actually trim any of it for the book. I think that's okay. I think that looks pretty good. I'm gonna do that. I don't know why I think that should be at the bottom. I just kind of feel like it should. So I'm gonna do the same with this. I'm gonna use Eileen's tacky glue, and I'm gonna put a nice amount on here, and then I'm gonna brush it in. And we don't have to be too concerned whether this bleeds or not, but I don't think it's going to. I haven't really had a problem with that yet. Okay, let's layer down, see what happens. See what happens, like what? She's gonna jump off the book here? I don't know. What's gonna happen is it's gonna lay down here and it's gonna cooperate, and we're not gonna have to think about it again. That's what it's gonna do. So it's just kind of overlapping a little bit in the gullet here, so to, again, for that extra stability. And I wanna get it really good in there. Really push it in there. I think that's gonna be really pretty. Let's look at our little strip again. Let's see if I feel like I have to trim it again. Okay, I think we're good with this. Push that in just a little bit more. You guys getting sick of the French stuff yet? I kind of was for a while, and then I was like, I miss it. I gotta have me a little French something. I don't know. It's a small amount, but it's a very charming amount. Okay, let's look at this. Now this is a scrap that I had, and I don't think I'm gonna need all of this because I'm not wrapping around the book. I'm just going to be, somehow I got glue in here. I'm just going to be making it long enough to tie. So I'm gonna have to cut off that little hunk of glue right there. It's just a little bit. I'm gonna cut it at an angle. That's my, oh, I forgot my terrible scissors. Okay. Fiskars are good scissors, but not when you cut wire with them. Don't do that. Okay, so I'm just kind of guesstimating that I'm gonna need, I'm gonna have an ample amount so that they can tie a proper knot bow thing. So maybe about this much. And then the other end we'll just do straight. Okay, so that is gonna be here. Now I'm gonna do the other one the same. Let's cut put this at an angle if possible, if at all possible. It's not bad. So I'm gonna make these the same length. And this end does not have to be nice and angled, so we're not gonna worry about that. Okay, let's get the book down here. And we're upright again, yes we are. And I'm going to kind of guesstimate here. I think this is about the middle, just to see about where we're at, so we do them the same. 8, so about 4 is the center. Well, that's just about exactly right. So let's go with that. And I am again going to use our Eileen's glue. I'll get it down really well so that, I mean, I could use Fabri-Tac for this because this kind of is what it's meant for, right? Cut off a little bit more of this. Okay, so just to see how different it is, I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac on this side because this is so, you know, sort of transparent. I'm having a hard time getting. I think it will stick, but it's kind of fighting me a little bit here. So where is our angled end? That's our little angled end. Okay, and about 4 inches in here. Here is, oh, I was way off. It's a good thing I checked. So this is about the center, right about here. Yeah, that's good. Okay, how are you doing? I didn't get enough on here, so I'm just gonna finish up with the Fabri-Tac, and because we want this really down, you know, it'll get tugged on a little bit, and we want it to be very secure. Okay, I'm back. So it's actually the next day because my battery died, and I had just put down the ribbon, and I was about to put down these papers, and it died, and I didn't want to just stop. I wanted to keep going and get as much done as possible. So I'm sorry that you missed that part, but honestly, all I really did was over the ribbon that we had just put down, I put down the paper that I think I had already explained how I chose, or how I decided the size, which was to just leave a tiny, about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. So I went ahead and glued all that down, so that's done. And if you want to see me actually do that, I did show that in the video where I did the 2 writing journals, and I can link that in the description box. So sorry about that, but I looked up and it was like low battery close or something like that. And I was like, no. So since I did all that, and I also had decoupaged my image, I thought, you know, I'll just pick it up tomorrow. So that's what I'm doing. So yes, it is about 24 hours later. So, but I love the way this looks. I mean, really, with like the blue and having a little bit of the red there. And the front looks, you know, it's much the same as it was because that part was already done. Now I also covered my little strip for my spine in coordinating paper and just a scrap of this cardstock. So that is done. And then we will be making our little marks and sewing in our signatures. So for the signatures, I also went ahead and did some trimming. So I used this one, I stuck it in and kind of figured out how, you know, how big I wanted my signatures to be, and then used it as a template and went ahead and cut off the tops. Now I am going to still need to trim along the sides because, you know, of, you know, bird beak and that sort of thing. So they're all going to be cut about, oh, I would say at least 1/8, if not closer to 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, it's pretty close to 1/4 of an inch. So that will have to be done yet before they're sewn in. And then I also did the pencil, you know, the little pencil pockets that I made in the other 2 writing journals. If you watch that, oh, I can't see like which side is up. Okay, because the writing is so small. So in the other ones, let me grab that one of the other ones. So I did a little pencil pocket on the inside page, and that worked out really well. But I thought for this one, we would put it along the spine. I did decide to do a hidden spine again. Just the way everything worked out and wanting to do this, I thought it made more sense. And so we're gonna glue this on, and we're gonna have plenty of room for some kind of nice pen or pencil. And also, oh, and if you didn't see the other video for the other book where I showed how I did this, this is not sewn. You can definitely sew it. It would probably be quicker, but you know, like I said, I'm too lazy to go in the basement and get my sewing machine and bring it up. So all I did was press these down and then come in with my Fabri-Tac glue, which, I mean, this is kind of what it's made for. So it's very sturdy. I feel really good about it. And then I will also be using that glue to glue it down to the side. And one more thing I figured out in my little break here. So this was the image that I wanted to use on the cover. And I still might, but it may not be this one. As you see, after I decoupaged it, it got really yellow, like really pulled out the yellow tones. And I'm just not happy with that. So I did I did several prints and kind of changed the, like the warmth of the image and that sort of thing. This was the latest one that I came up with that isn't bad. It's still, I wish it was a little more sepia, but to me, it's okay. It's not, you know, it is not yellow like this. I mean, look at the difference. So this is more neutral and will blend in. And then also with the trim going around it, I think it'll still be really pretty. But as it happens, when I was looking and kind of experimenting, I came across this image, which is, it's an old French postcard image, and I just thought it was precious. And what I like about it is that it has these sort of sepia tones that are going on in here. Yes, there is yellow in it, but it also has the other tones that it kind of needs to blend in with this dark background. Now, I really like this. If I do this, I need to pick up some kind of little trim or something to go around it. I don't think that this trim is necessarily right for it. It seems a little bit big. So I need your guys' help, okay? We're not gonna put this on today because we're gonna come back and we are going to, in the next video, start putting in some pictures of French ladies and maybe putting like a pocket on the inside covers, and we will finish the cover. So I need you to help me decide. If you don't care, that's fine. You know, I'll do whatever. But give me a vote. Do you prefer the French postcard, the French lady postcard, or the, this is called Paris evening dress image? So just, you know, like, I keep going back and forth. It, you know, it definitely changes the tone of the outside of the book, but on the inside, I'm still gonna use all the same images that I had. So I'm just, gosh, I really like this, and it could be fun with like a red, you know, like that cherry red trim going around it, which will still fit in beautifully with the inside cover. So you guys, I need your help. I need a vote. Okay, so let's get on with signatures. Okay, so as I said, I got this covered and it looks so much nicer. And what we're gonna do is figure out, I have 6 signatures ready to go. However, what I'm not sure of is if I actually have room. I have room in the book for 6 signatures. I'm not sure I have room in on this little spine for 6 signatures. I don't want them to be too close. This is perfectly sturdy. It's a nice piece of chipboard, but here, let me show you. Like, as you see, plenty of room for 6 in here. But this isn't the whole story, right? I have to get them sewn into this guy. And boy, it's, I don't know, it's pretty tight. Another reason why it's nice to do 5 is that when you have that odd number, you've got your middle one, right? Because you've got 5. So you've got your middle lane, and then you've got the 2 outside lanes. So I think I'm gonna do 5. I just don't want to run into trouble like using the crocodile and like running out of room for all of my holes, because I will be using that to do an 1/8 inch hole since I'm doing the wax thread. So, okay, I think we decided. Well, I decided. Okay, I'm gonna do 5. I'm gonna do 5. I will use these, definitely. These are my beautiful hand-dyed papers. Oh, I love them so much. So basically what I did, and I don't remember now if I told you this, is I just chose 1 of each color for each signature. So we had the blueberry, we had the, which one was this? This was the coffee dye. We had the turmeric. This is the color that I made out of black coffee and blue food coloring. This is red food coloring. This is tea dyed, green tea dyed, and then this is blue food coloring. So I've got 1 of each in these, so it'll be 5 signatures of 7 sheets. So it's still a nice substantial book. So, all right, let's start measuring. The thing that I have to get my brain ready for, right? So I'm gonna make my marks on the other side, and we'll just get ready here. So let's see. This is, well, it's almost an inch, just about an inch. So basically we can come in, I mean, it's just a tad under. It's really about 7/8. So I'm gonna fudge it a little bit. I'm gonna move this, I don't know if you can see what I did. Maybe I should move you closer. So what I did was, I mean, it's so close. Can you see that? So I basically just kind of overhang this by a hair on each side, so that now I know that that's the middle. That's the middle right there, about 1/2 inch. So as long as I do that all the way, it will be accurate. And then I'm gonna do a line, and that will be our midpoint line. All right, so now I'm gonna do the, I'm just lining this ruler up along the lines, along the little tick marks, and this is gonna be our center line for our center signature. Okay, so now what we need to do is basically just divide what's left into 2 equal portions. And we have, yeah, I mean, it is basically about 1/2 inch. Okay, so what I've done is I am kind of eyeballing a little bit, because the tick marks are so small on here. And they're, this is my ruler from college, and I can barely see some of these lines anymore. So, so what I've done is take my little Sharpie and kind of marked about where, again, like I'm kind of eyeballing. But if you look at that, get it way up there. You see how it's pretty much equidistant. So that's what I'm gonna go off of. I'm gonna go ahead and mark those little spots all the way down. And then again, I'm gonna combine or, you know, make lines. And then we're gonna have all of our lines for our width for our signatures. Okay, so now I'm gonna just connect all my lines, or connect the dots, I guess you could say. And this side is a tad skinnier, but it's still fine. We're, you know, it's pretty darn close. Okay, so I've got all my lines. I did get a little bit off on a couple of them, but basically what I need to do now is come in and just kind of decide. I am going to do a 3-hole signature because with the wax thread I feel like that's strong enough, and with a nice chipboard spine. And so we've got about, well, look at that, I'm right on. We got 8 inches, so obviously the middle one should be 4, right? So let's do that. So then I need to decide, do I want to come in 1 inch or maybe more like a 1/2 inch? I think I'm going to come in about, how about 3/4 of an inch? Let's split the difference here. Okay, so I'm going to start punching holes. I'm going to do the 1/8 inch hole, and whoops, come on fella, okay, 1/8 inch hole. Okay, here we go. So yeah, do you see how close those are? That's why I couldn't do more signatures. I wish this did a little bit smaller hole. I mean, it's very close, but this is sturdy, and this is going to be glued into the book, this side end. So I feel pretty safe about it, but yeah, that's why I had to do it this way. Okay, they're done. Yeah, okay. I love this guy. Good investment. So before we go ahead and start sewing these in, I'm going to trim these down. And what I'm basically going to do is, I've already taken the bone folder once to make them as flat as I could. But now, since they're in here, I'm going to do it again. And you can see where, well, let's see, let's look at our little template here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go off the template because it is a little bit shorter even than my first page, my first paper of my signature. So we're gonna kind of do this, but yeah, I'd say it's about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna come in here with my craft knife, and I'm gonna start, and it's gonna take several tries to get through all these papers, but we can do it. Okay, first one done. Looks good. Matches up with our template. So I'm going to continue on and do the rest, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, they're all cut. So now what we need to do is make our markings. And I just wanted to point something out. This was the blueberry paper, and where I had laid it on top of a paper towel, I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of has a pattern of the paper towel, which is kind of a, I don't know what you'd call it, kind of a flowery pattern. I just thought that was kind of cool. But so I had to show that off. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I don't know why I keep moving this around. We're gonna say that this is the top with the little, I don't know, cream colored little stars here. And let's see here. What I'm gonna do, I think I have to go the other direction though, because I won't be able to see. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, and basically what I do is line up the spine. This is not very technical. And then I'm gonna take my pen, and I'm literally, it kind of came loose. Here, let's put a little clip in here of some sort. Hold on. Okay, it wants to keep shifting on me, and I don't want you to shift. You need to stay right where you're at. Okay, so if you can see, what I'm gonna do is, and I've done this in many videos, but in case you didn't see them, or you don't know how, I'm gonna take my holes, and I'm just gonna go zoop. And you have to make that sound when you do it, otherwise it doesn't work. Zoop. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing here, and that is just lining up my holes. So provided I do this in the same way, and I did measure, so it's gonna be fine even if I didn't. If I hadn't measured, you know, you definitely got to make sure you're going the same direction. And so what it does is make these little marks, which are basically where we're going to punch our holes. So there you go. Okay, close this little guy up, and kind of another sort of a little bit tedious. It's okay though. So let me get now a paper clip. So excuse my reach here. Because I do like them to be kind of held together a little bit as I'm, you know, punching the holes. They shift, and I don't know why. I don't know why they still shift, even when you have them clipped. It's like they have a mind of their own. But I do the best that I can to keep them where they're supposed to be. So, in my mind, I'm saying that the blue is the top and the white is the bottom, and I just turn it over, and now you see how they kind of shifted when I just did that, when I kind of spread it. And it, you know, it's probably just my method, but it always works out fine. So I'm not worried about it. This isn't brain science, right? Brain science? Brain surgery, whatever. Okay. Okay. Start with, again, I'm going to do 1/8 inch holes. I'm just going to go off of my little marks here. And there we go. We got our little holes. And those are pretty good. They often will shift a little bit on the other side. I've kind of gotten used to that. That's just what happens. But look, it's perfectly good. So I'm going to continue on punching my holes in the rest of these, and then we'll be right back. So it's time to start sewing. All right, let me get my waxed thread, and we need a nice big needle, one that I can not only see but get through the holes properly. That's pretty good. I think this one's bigger, but I think I'm okay with this one. Well, let's make sure it fits in the hole. I'm sure that it does. It's been a while since I've done, yeah, that's fine. Since I've done the 3-hole punch, or the 3-hole signature with the crocodile. I've been doing, just trying some different things, like with upholstery thread, embroidery thread, and that, you know, it's fun to try different things. But just for the look alone, I really wanted to use this. So I did 3 lengths, sorry, I should have said 1, 2, 3, and that's usually way more than enough. Love this wax thread. Okay, so as it is said, I don't know who said it, but you're supposed to start at the back, so I obey and I do that. I don't know if it makes a difference, but you know, how hard can it be, right? So I'm gonna start with, oops. We're gonna start with the middle hole and the strings. Well, now here's a really good question. Do we want the strings on the outside or the inside? Do we want them tying in the middle, or do we want them going up against this and then being glued? I feel like that would be maybe a safer bet. Let's do that. You know, it'll just give it a little bit more stability. And so I've got the cream colored stars going up, and I've got the blue paper clip up. Bring it in. We're gonna go down through the upper hole. And, oh gosh, am I even on camera? I'm so sorry. I'll get back on, okay. Okay, so I went in through the second hole. Now we're gonna go down through the lower hole. Okay. And we got a nice long tail, and I'm going to move it to the other side because I know I'm going to want it there since I looked and checked it out. Okay, now you go back in through your middle hole, and that's how you get your little tie. And you can do it, oh no, they're both on the same side, okay. And you can do it however you want to do it, having the ties on the inside and then maybe tying beads on them or something like that. You know, it depends on, like, if you want a cleaner look like this or if you want the little ties in here. And I've done it both ways and they're both perfectly fine. So what we want to do is kind of get this, I like to have like a similar amount of thread here. I am going to cut it though, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So you want to make it nice and snug, but not tight. And we've got one string on each side of this, okay, of the center string. And just, I just make it as tight as I can without obviously like ripping or tearing or something. But I do find even when I do that, sometimes they're a little bit looser than I'd like. I don't know how that happens. That's pretty nice, that's pretty nice. So I'm gonna turn it over and I'm gonna go the opposite direction. And I'm gonna come back and do one more time, just for good measure. It's kind of like putting that sprinkle of salt over your shoulder. Okay, we got the first one in, and that looks beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna cut these off a little bit. I may cut them off more, but I'm gonna continue on with the signatures and I'll be right back. Okay, I have all of them sewn in. Oh, it looks so nice. It looks so nice. So I'm gonna cut off, I'm gonna cut down all of these threads because there's really no reason to have them that long. It is gonna get, you know, a tad bulky under there in this little section because of the knots and the strings. So we'll kind of try to you know, get rid of a little bit of that bulk by cutting these a little shorter. But look how beautiful that looks. I mean, I think it's beautiful. Okay, get that off. Okay, so now we got to get it glued onto our spine. Glued into, well, yeah, glued into, I should say, the spine of our book. So this is up. The writing is up. I have to keep looking at that. And what I'm gonna do is I am gonna use Fabri-Tac because I really trust it in, not that I don't trust PVA, but I don't know, I just feel like that stuff will hold an elephant if you wanted to. And it's gonna have to probably sit for a little while, but look how pretty that's gonna be. Oh, it's pretty. You know what, that is more than enough full, more than enough full. Oh, here, let's take off these other clips. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a fair amount, like a lot of this glue, okay? Give it a little shake. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a lot. I think I said that. Thread there, and we're definitely in the up position, and you know there's going to be a few of those hanging out. I'm kind of okay with that, and I can try to trim them after the fact. Okay, there isn't even any on this side, so what I'm trying to do is just line it up. See, I just scooch it over this way a little bit. That makes sense. Can you see? Kind of hard to see. Look how pretty it is. It's already so pretty. Okay, push it down. Let me come over to the other side and see how it looks over here. Yeah, this is where we've got some little, I wonder if I can kind of push them in. I don't want to, don't use a pencil. Okay, with a paper clip, get them under there. You can kind of see, I'm trying not to, there's some little threads right here. And look at that. There were little threads. Now let me close it and see if it's lined up properly. That looks really good. That looks really good, you guys. Okay. I mean, I don't think it can get any better. Okay, you can close it, you can open it. It's nice and even. I feel like I need to put a little bit of glue down in here in this little gullet. Okay, that looks good. It's kind of like babying it, isn't it? Okay, and then this side doesn't seem to need it as much, but I'm gonna put a little. Okay, we're gonna close her up, and I'm gonna let it set for several hours. And this is as far as we are today, you guys, and I mean, she's almost done. The only thing, remember, that I need your help with is which image should we use. If you don't have an opinion, that's fine. If nobody, you know, gives me an opinion, I'll just pick one. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards this one because it's kind of whimsical, right? You know, this one is a little bit more, what would you call it? Traditional flair. This one is definitely a little more youthful and whimsical, but I love them. But anyway, if you guys have an opinion, I would love to know. And oh, wait a minute, we're not done. I forgot about this guy. We have to glue him on too. So, hold on. Hold the phone. So what I'm gonna do is, like, again, a fair amount of glue. Oops. I'm gonna go 3 sides. I could have done this after the fact too, but after it's all done, but just let it all get dry at the same time. So what's kind of tricky about this is, you know, I have to make sure that it has like the pocket so we can actually fit a pen in there. So what we're gonna do is, I think I'm gonna leave it laying down. It's a little tricky. Okay, so I wanna make sure I'm going the right direction. Am I going the right direction? Alrighty. So I'm gonna start sort of down here. Obviously I want it all to be on the edge of the book. And then this has to kind of curve, right? And be down in here. Now I did put glue down here. I'm wondering how that is going to work. If it's going to let me actually glue it down. So I've got a nice pocket. If nothing else, I can just kind of close it up so that a pen can go in there and not fold. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to put it down flat, but I can sort of close it up. Okay, so I'm kind of pulling this over a little bit. I've got a nice little pocket in here. All right, let's see if we can get something in there. I'm sure that we can. Oh yeah, easily. Even maybe a thicker one. Oh yeah, well, okay, so I just unglued it. But yeah, we can definitely fit something in there. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more glue on here. And then this part is basically kind of, if you can see, I've kind of glued it shut a little bit because I can't really lay it down flat. Maybe there's a way to do that and I just did not do it the proper way, but this is definitely going to work for, oh yeah, that looks cool. That looks really cool. Okay, you guys, now we're really done, and remember, vote if you'd like to, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.